And a good day to you, sir. And a good day to you, sir. What is that from? What is that from? What am I quoting at myself here at the beginning where nobody's watching? Holy fuck. Maybe nobody's always been watching. Da 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 da. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. We are but figments of your diseased mind. What does this say on the side of this? What? I quit. I quit. Nobody told me this. How did I know this? How did this one slip past? Turns out cigarettes are bad for you. I mean, like, it's right there. Shit. Well, shit. I mean, it says it right there on the thing. It's on the pack. You guys seen it? Wait, Paul, you smoke cigarettes? Oh, yeah, I guess every stream over the last 13 months. Yeah, seriously. I love the people that are still wandering in going like, are you smoking? It's like, I've been smoking for a fucking year. A year and change on every stream. It's like, fuck. Oh, man. What it's due. What it do? Wait, Paul, I thought you were a CPU technician in Cali. Mind. Sonic boom. Yeah, the people that are still like telling me to stop too. I love them too. My little digital parents out there. My little digital doctors, digital advisors. I got so many. So many people out there looking after my best interests. You know, what a lucky guy. What a fortunate guy I am. I guess it's lighter today, so I could give you guys a better look at the ring if it'll focus on it. Maybe let me hide behind my hand. Then maybe it'll focus properly. But the ring came that I've been yakking about forever. There it is. You guys can kind of see it. It's a little blurry. Can I like touch the screen to? Nope, I can't. I was gonna say, can I like touch the screen to make it focus? That would be really cool if it had full camera control, but it doesn't. But there it is. Very cool ring. It's got a neat. I'll try and show you guys. You probably won't be able to see it. It's engraved on the inside, but it doesn't show up. No, not for you guys. But it says Moanam Cara, and it has a claddagh in it. Moanam Cara means my soulmate. It's a good little ring, laddie. Yeah, so there you go. The ring has arrived. I really like it. I'm really glad that I took the time to like design it. You know what I mean? Like to have it, not design it myself, but have it designed and be picky about it, get the right size, and have it done the way that I wanted to do it. So now it must be cast into the flame. I show it again. There you go. Can't really see it very well, but there you go. That's probably the best look you're going to get at it. It's got the Trinity nuts all the way around. Pretty cool shit. I'll be right back. I'm going to get something to drink. I'll let you know when I know. Okay. I'll assume everything. Yep. Yup. Oh, sorry. I didn't realize we already started it. Does the angle of the dangle depend on the booty of the cutie or the heat of the meat? I don't know. That's a good question. Paul, we, your close and personal friends, are here today because we care about you and are worried. Is this a fucking intervention? Am I being intervened? All right, let's intervene. All right, it's a long time coming. I get it. All right. So aren't you guys each supposed to tell me how I've hurt you? Isn't that how these work? I think that's how we're supposed to do it. I've hit rock bottom. Okay. I cratered. One time you said something hurtful on stream. Man. I've never taken part in an intervention. Have you? Have you ever intervened on anyone? No? I did stop doing fish RP. Yeah, it got annoying to me. You're right. I did break his heart. I broke Juice's heart and shit on all 200 of his amazing employees. You didn't cuck me, even though my wife demanded it. Fuck. I've hurt all of you, haven't I? I've done each and every one of you wrong. I see the error of my ways. Every last one of you I've hurt. I've said hurtful things. I've acted in ways that were callous and cruel. The other day, you came in to work and you were drunk. And I found you with your head in the toilet. Disgusting. Silvio's intervention. Chrissy, the other day, you came into work. And then later on in the day, I noticed you were high. And I found you with your head in the toilet. And your hair was wet with toilet water. Disgusting. Oh, shit, man. Fuck beans. You killed the fucking dog? I love that shit. Oh, man. I don't want to spoil it. Fucking Marshall's in here, man. Marshall is in here. It's on the way. Like, there's an airmail thing happening. He should have the fucking... He'll be watching it soon, man. I don't want to spoil that shit for Marshall. I don't care about the rest of you. You killed the fucking dog? What? I was high. She curled up next to me for warmth or something. Oh, man. I love that movie or show or whatever it is. Feels more like a movie than a show to me. Just like a movie with endlessly good sequels. Michael Imperioli said he received more flack for killing the dog than any killing of humans that he did on the show. I believe it. He kills a bunch of fucking human beings in the show. That's true. But I believe it, dude. That scene is just like... My favorite comedy is still My Cousin Vinny. Yeah, dude, that's one of the few movies that I really like that I've shown to Amelia, and she just wasn't like... I mean, she didn't hate it, but...
I don't know.
She couldn't get into it.
Finish it. So
Yeah, she didn't...
I must have hated it a little bit.
Yeah, you must have hated it. Something about it rubbed you the wrong way. But, yeah, I love My Cousin Vinny. You forced us to create sock account after sock account, and the mental drain of being constantly banned is going to lead to a dark place for me, Paul. Oh, my God. I'm so sorry. Where would I have to go to make things right, though? Like, what kind of fucking rehab would work for me? I'd have to go to, like, salty comment rehab.
I guess. Internet sabbatical.
Oh, no, that wouldn't work. I'd have to learn how to not be salty on the internet. So I would have to, like, have people just, like, insult me.
Yeah.
And then just, like
fucking Scientology.
Yeah. Like that Scientology drill. Like, I fucked your wife. Fucked your mom, too. Just be like...
Tie your hands behind your back.
Yep. There is a Scientology drill. It's OTTR whatever number. I can't remember the number. Where you're supposed to drill. It's called bull bait. And so you're supposed to drill being able to never genuinely have an emotional reaction to any kind of negative insinuation about you or your family or anything. Like it's about learning how to just like placidly take abuse, basically. Because the reason you have to learn how to do that is because one of the main tactics that Scientology uses against Scientology detractors is the bull bait. So they have to be able to take the withering abuse that comes from another person and look like they're the bigger person while still simultaneously needling that person about personal things. That's the bull bait technique. Scientology's fucking weird, man. Very interesting, though. Yeah. I just go to my happy place. They cannot troll you here, Paul. You are safe.
Dinor is the chillest, except for when people come.
Yeah, true that. You are safe, Paul. What's my name again? What's my name again? What's wrong with me? I laugh like a little girl at everything. I giggle and squeal in high-pitched, girly bursts of laughter at everything. I find everything funny, even kittens playing with bunnies. Maybe there's nothing wrong with you. Maybe you're just a joyful human being.
Yeah, why would you like want to change that?
Yeah. I have too much joy. That's actually the name of a really good band, by the way. Too Much Joy. You should look them up. I've got some good songs. Donna Everywhere is a great song. Sort of Haunted House is a great song. There's a lot of good songs. Too Much Joy. Very, very obscure band, too. I've never bumped into another person that has listened to Too Much Joy until I put them on to Too Much Joy. Johnny Bumpin' never did bump down the street, so it looks like I was wrong, probably. Or they worked it out, and he didn't have to bump down the street. Sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong, what are you going to do?
Dude, one time this couple fought in like my apartment complex. It was a weird apartment complex. It was like 2 separate buildings, but like the entire like laundry section was just filled with someone else's crap that they had dumped out. So it's like, well, shit. Now I can't do laundry because you emptied out someone.
Yep.
Shit. Like, have you ever seen that? Someone like just toss everyone's shit out?
Nope. Never did see it. I blame toxic femininity for making me gay. Jason. What am I going to do with you? I tend to get annoyed by people who are delusionally optimistic. Yeah, that's pretty annoying to deal with delusional optimism. Should flush the chat. It is feeling like a day that I could flush you guys, to be honest with you. The problem is I ran out of Texas Tough bags, and those are the only ones that I trust. Like, I had this brand of bag that literally I think you could nuke it and it wouldn't. Texas Tough. It's like thick-ass plastic. I got them in Texas. I got a whole big bag of them in Texas. And I had them all the way through the last time I flushed you guys at the Tinderbox in Louisiana. And then I finally ran out of my Texas Toughs. Yeah, I met a solipsist when I was really young. I didn't even really know, and I'm not even sure he knew what solipsism was. I didn't learn that he was a solipsist until I learned about solipsism, but I met a kid when I was about 15 years old at the Cal State Summer School for the Arts. His name was Alex. And he was a like kind of scrawny Jewish kid with a glass eye. And so immediately I wanted to be friends with him. And we became friends. And we started exchanging what passed for our life philosophy at that point in time. Which, you know, yeah, everyone named Alex is weird. You're right. That is true. I had another friend, Alex, in high school. That was a strange duck, too. But anyway, we started exchanging our teenage life philosophy, whatever that stands for. And he, yeah, you know, we started digging into him, you know, just asking him how he felt about certain things. And he was like, you know what, Paul? He's like, you probably don't want to have this conversation with me. And I was like, what? I was like, you know, if I didn't want to have the conversation with you, I wouldn't talk. You know, I wouldn't have the conversation with you. Like, I'm interested. Like, what do you know? So he launched into his whole worldview, and his worldview was that he was the only person in the world that was real. And that the only things in the world that were real and tangible to him were the things that were within his perception. So, for example, he believed that once I left his cone of perception, I ceased to exist. And I told him, well, what if I told you that that's not true? That, like, you know, I walked away the last time we talked and I went to class and I did all this and I talked with Rodney and I did this and I did that. He said, no. He said, you don't have a choice. He said, this is why people don't like to talk to me about this stuff, because you're basically an automaton. And you have to say that. Like, in fact, you might even believe it to be true. But it's not, you know, and I know that. I know that to be true, that everything that happens on the planet happens so that I can experience it. And if it happens outside of my perception, it doesn't really happen. And it was like, I am, therefore I am, yes. But he was an interesting kid. Really funny guy, too. Reality is actually Cloud Atlas. No, it's the Truman Show. No, it's The Matrix, you know. None of these movies existed at the time we had this conversation. This would have been in 1995, so. Or 96. Early 96, maybe. But yeah, quite a crazy way of looking at your own life, but I couldn't really argue with him about it at a certain point. I mean, it's kind of a dead-end philosophy. Imagine thinking you're the protagonist of the universe when you have a glass friggin' eye. Clearly the narrative does not have your back, dude. Well, I mean, I asked him about that. I remember that coming up in our conversations, you know. I asked him, I said, you know, don't you think that your eye kind of undercuts your argument? And he said, no. He said, because I'm the only one that can truly perceive. I perceive through one eye, you perceive nothing. He said, I'm actually blessed. I'm the only person that exists. I have one eye to look through. It's like, oh. Well, I guess I can't argue with that. One eye is better than no eyes. What was his reasoning on why? Like, why was the universe made for him? He simply, like, I remember he answered a lot of, I don't know. Like, I asked him, you know, maybe not that exact question worded exactly in that manner, but I remember asking the kid, like, what does that mean? Like, so wait a minute, like, so you're God? And he said, no. He was a practicing Jew. He was playing with me. I mean, I don't think he was. I mean, maybe he was. But the conversation was deep and ongoing enough to where, you know, if it was a troll job, it was an interesting troll job. You know what I mean? So he didn't think he was a god. And when I asked him, like, why is this happening to you and not me? Like, why am I not the only person that exists? I don't know. Doesn't that contradict your worship? If you're the only person that exists, he said, yeah, but it doesn't contradict the benefit that I get from my worship. The benefit that you get. Yeah, a good, it feels good to go and talk to God, and it feels good to be around other people that are in my perception doing the same. It feels good to go to church. It feels good to read the Torah. Okay. Maybe he was right. We're all just the same recycled consciousness, like the story The Egg. Maybe. I've never read the story The Egg. Maybe he was just confused at that point in his life. I mean, yeah, he's a young kid. He didn't seem very confused about it, though. I mean, yeah, he answered a lot of, like, deeper questions with I don't know, but he seemed at peace with not knowing. I don't know. I mean, I don't think writing him off as just being totally confused is... I don't know. It's always been an important kind of... I've always remembered it. I've never run into another actual solipsist before, you know what I mean? And had a conversation with one, and I'll never forget the guy. And he definitely opened me up to this kind of existential possibility, you know what I mean? As silly as it is, it's fun to think about. And poses some interesting philosophical questions. You're the only one that's not real? Damn. Ever have taco lasagna? Like taco pie? Like, yeah, taco casserole or whatever? I've had such things. We don't call it taco lasagna, but I've had like taco casserole where it's like layers of different stuff. Would you take the red pill and return to your life, or take the blue pill and see how far the rabbit hole goes? I don't know. Yeah, I think it is the blue pill. You take the blue pill, you go to sleep, you wake up, you remember none of this, you go back to your boring life. You take the red pill, see how deep the rabbit hole goes. His philosophy is easy enough to prove wrong. You just need to induce medical death and then resuscitate him. If his existence is the basis of the universe, then you should stop existing before you can. Okay. All right, bro. Let's test this philosophy of yours. Let's turn this into a real life. Hey! Wait right there. Come on, D. Ooh, child, it's gonna get easier. Oof. Oof. Sorry I had to leave you guys like that, but the weed man came. I need to check and make sure I didn't miss any texts too, so hold on one second. You guys are gonna have to refresh. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. Refresh. I'm gonna turn this away here. Me and Amelia are gonna have a little smoke sesh.
I don't even think I have in like a week or something.
It's been a minute.
I'll have to do one little one.
Yeah, take it slow, take it easy. No need to, it's not a horse race, you know. But I got a nice cleaned out bowl, so that'll help too. It shouldn't be very resiny. Weed 420 podcast. Yeah, the
Should
weed.
I take the ash out of that or?
No, that's actually just charred resin.
Okay. So it ain't got nothing.
No. Knock some of it out, but most of it's just. I mean, if you want to, you can grab a little tool and scrape out that little bit of what's in
I just
there.
want to be careful that I'm not getting like a.
Oh, the super danks.
Yeah, matches.
I didn't go super dank this time. I got mids this time, which is always been my favorites. So this should be a little easier to. But yeah, if I were you, I'd just take it real slow on it.
I think that's, yeah, it is just charred to shit.
Yep.
It's got like one little nugget.
Yeah, it's just charred fucking resin. I smoke at work. Me too. Hold on, let me take off this stupid shit. Yeah. Had to throw my mask on real quick and go for the weed mate. He was a nice guy. They're always nice.
Yeah. I mean, your job is delivering weed. Can you imagine if you like went to like 15-year-old Paul? It's like, you know, that's gonna be a job someday.
Delivering weed.
Legally.
It's so good. Yeah, dude. Brings a tear to my eye just thinking about it. No, it's okay. I like doing the pinch method better for bowls. I'm a hands-on smoker. Gotta get that pinch method down. I like to feel the buds, and this is sticky icky. It's not as sticky icky, but it's sticky. I'll tell you that right now. All right. Would you like to take greens? Okay.
I'll try to be real careful.
Just a little hit. Little poofs. There's no need to take a big old lunger. Started a resin ball. You're only 2 cleanings into building, but it's already a good 3/4 inch in diameter. I don't ever really run out these days, so I'm just excited. Oh man, dude, you're gonna end up with tons of resin.
I'll stop at that one for now.
Yeah, chill on that one. See how you feel. But yeah, we're smoking wedding cake. Ah, appropriate. Doesn't really taste much like wedding cake though.
I don't know if they've even seen mine, have they?
Your ring?
Yeah.
Bring it over. Let them see. Your ring's beautiful. There's her ring. It's one of the reasons why. Here, let's back it up here. There we go. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to get the white and yellow gold, so that, you know, it doesn't match necessarily in design, but it at least matches in colors. Isn't it pretty? Oh. Doesn't sound like a good flavor of weed. What, wedding cake? I don't know.
Pretty mild if I was able to take that hit after 2 weeks of not doing it.
Yep. I mean, it's, I don't know. I think part of the problem with that one too is that the heavies that I got were all hybrids. And you tend, I think, to react better to indicas, pure indicas. And that one, those heavy hybrids had a strong sativa element. Anyway, no more 420 weed cast. Done.
Calling it.
Yep. you ever had that kind of high where you just don't want to be high anymore and are miserable and it lasts forever? I mean, yeah. I mean, I've had it before. Like, it happens more to me with drinking than it does with weed, to be honest with you. Like, no matter how high you get, unless you took a bunch of edibles, that's a different story. 30 minutes, 45 minutes are going to go by and you're going to be on the downward slope. You know what I mean? But like drinking, if you drink too much, you're fucked for like 3 hours of just nonsense. So yeah, probably more with drinking than with smoking. But I don't know. In my adult life, I feel like I handle weed pretty good. Like I don't really have weed-induced panic attacks. In fact, it tends to help me stave those off rather than induce them. I think sometimes maybe it does push me a little closer towards anxiety, but I feel like I handle it pretty well. Sup? I have not seen the show Peaky Blinders, no. Back to the weed cast. I don't know.
It's hard to.
It is.
Starts.
I started it this time too.
Yeah.
I had to run for the weed man. I had to tell everybody that I ran to the weed man, and I had to tell everybody we were gonna smoke, and then it just kind of sucks that weed isn't taboo. That's why stoner humor, like how high doesn't hold up. I mean, it holds up for people that have lived at a time when weed was still taboo.
It's only been, what, like 6 years or something?
Yeah. I'm going to try to learn how to play Dota 2 type of games. Anyone here play those types of games? Any advice for noobs? I think Google would probably be better than asking in my chat. I would say that, like, for me, the easiest and most accessible game that's out right now in that genre is probably Heroes of the Storm. Blizzard's entry into the MOBA genre, so I would start on that. Because, yeah, jumping into Dota can be really overwhelming. I jumped back into Dota for the first time since 2018 the other night. And it's completely changed. There's all this new shit, new mechanics, like supports work different, pulls work different, like all the stuff that I knew about it. But I was happy to see Ogre Magi is still fucking amazing. I'm basically an Ogre one trick now. Like, I don't ever want to play another fucking character ever again. Ogre Magi and I are like peas and carrots, man. I fucking love that character. It's a two-headed lumbering oaf. It feels so good to play him. Dude, I was playing with Jason, and he introduced me to the joys of Blink Dagger Ogre, which I used to get a blink on Ogre every once in a while, but he's like, no, you should build it earlier now. And it's so beautiful. Oh my God, to just blink on somebody and unload a fucking 5x multicast and then have Aghanims unload a second one. Oh my God. It's like hitting a jackpot on a fucking casino machine or some shit. But then sometimes it doesn't go off, and that's Ogre. He's about the luck. I've got good luck, man. I'm telling you what. I was playing with Jason and we were winning, like we were pushing into the base, and I had a Blink Dagger and an Aghanim Scepter, so I had the double Fire Blast shit. And he goes, I wasn't even paying attention. I was kind of like whacking on a building. And he goes, dude, blink on that fucking Riki. There was a Riki up there skulking around up towards top lane in his own base. And he was like, dude, just blink and unload on that Riki. And so I just did. I just was like, got 4x multicasts, and he just melted. He just disappeared. Poof. 300 gold. Back to beating on the building. It just feels too good. It also feels good to just run away as Ogre, because he's got so much armor that people can just whack at you forever, and you just like, nope. You can't kill me. Turn around, you're stunned, walk away.
Hi, Nor. Itchy. You need some oatmeal.
Yeah. Burst damage is fun in those types of games for sure, man. Watching like a health bar go boo. Like, I don't care what kind of game you're playing. Like if it's your enemy's health bar and it starts all big and then it's all like boo, and all you did was hit 2 buttons, you know? That feels good. I don't care who you are, that feels good. What ending did you get on Cyberpunk? The worst. I did the full Corpo ending because I picked Corpo, so I figured, hey, I may as well rock this one till the wheels come off. I didn't hit eject and go join the fucking... What was her name?
Oh,
Whatever.
Rogue, I think.
Yeah, Rogue. I didn't go join the fucking Outlander chick. You know, the fucking whatever.
Yeah.
I went straight Corpo.
I keep thinking Pavardi, but that's just because I started Outer Worlds again.
Yeah.
It's a very similar character.
Basically the same fucking character. Or at least they look the same. Maybe even the same voice actress. Who knows? But anyway, yeah, no, I got the worst ending. It's literally torture. Literally and figuratively. Like, you get... It's an ending where your character gets bored to death and you get to experience it in the first person. Literally one of the worst endings I've ever gotten in a game that I've played as long as I played Cyberpunk. So definitely stick, my advice, don't do the Corpo ending, I guess. And I'm not even joking about that. That's not hyperbole. The ending that I got is that your character is bored to death and you get to experience it through his eyes or her eyes or their eyes. No joke, no hyperbole. That's the ending. How long was the ending? Too long. It went on and on. Like I said, your character is bored to death. It takes a while to bore somebody to death. And you are bored to death with him. So it takes a while, you know? There's a long, girthy ending, but it was very boring. Very boring. Intentionally so boring. Very strange choice. I hate bad endings in games. That's a rant that even if, we're not even talking about a specific game. If you play games at all, I hate the fact that you can get the bad ending. Like, why is there a bad ending in a game? Every ending should be good. You made it goddamn fucking through the goddamn game. Sonic used to piss me off with this shit. Like, I'd beat it. I'd beat Sonic CD and feel all good, and then all of a sudden at the end, it goes through the ending thing, and I'm like, yeah, I beat Sonic. And then at the end, fat-ass fucking Dr. Robotnik is sitting there, and he's juggling all of the fucking Chaos Emeralds that I missed. And it says, try again. And I'm like, what?
Maybe that's why you have this temptation now to get every little thing.
Mm-hmm.
You miss those Chaos Emeralds.
I learned early. You get all the goddamn fucking Chaos Emeralds. Otherwise, that fat fuck that you just beat comes back at the end and he's like, I still have the Chaos Emeralds. But yeah, bad endings in games, man. Suck. Fuck that shit. Every ending should be good, man. If you make it through, you get a good ending. Maybe not necessarily good for your character, but like good in that it's fun to watch it.
I know that like Fallout is a little cruel. Like, they'll be like, oh, you didn't finish this companion's quest? Now they're fucking miserable.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Like, yeah, at the end, they're like, the fact that you didn't care enough about character X led them down a long spiral of alcoholism that ended in a lonely grave in the middle of nowhere. You're just like, fuck. You know, that's cool, though. That's not necessarily a bad ending. It's just like, it's reflective of the choices that you made. That's neat. Like, you're right about that. Like, Fallout, the newer Fallouts are good about having those, and at least 3 in New Vegas are good about having those endings that are tailor-made to the decisions that you make.
I don't know, I think the worst thing with companions is it seems like trying to actually start their quest is what's a huge pain in the ass.
I mean, I kind of feel like in a game like Fallout, they should be.
Yeah.
Because, like, getting a companion's incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
Like, once you have a companion, you've basically got another gun that never runs out. You know, that can... Well, I guess they do run out of ammo and shit, don't they?
Only if you give them an exclusive weapon.
Right.
If you let them shoot their base weapon, then it's fine.
So who's the dude with the sniper rifle?
Yeah, so, like, he has his rifle.
So you do the AI thing where you tell him to maintain distance, and then he just sniper rifles everybody for you the whole game. So I think it should be tough to get a companion and to keep one in those games. It kind of, like, gives you a lot of power. So...
But I just mean, like, after you get the companion, it's like some of them don't even start their quest until, like, the end game.
Yeah, true.
Or you have to go to have all these experiences in X number of places before they start opening up.
Yeah. I mean, you could easily miss, but that's part of the thing, you know? For me, like, Fallout was really good about not forcing you to be a completionist, but kind of incentivizing you to. You know, it had very few, like, hey, this is a little place out in the wasteland that's basically meaningless. Usually you'd find something, maybe not useful to your character, but something cool out there. Either cool to look at, cool to loot, worth some money, side quest opportunity, you know, whatever the fuck. So I really admire the newer Fallouts and the old Fallouts too. That's something that carries over from the old Fallouts. They really kind of push you out to their edges and make you explore different options and whatnot.
And really none of the quests are like that the same. It's not like there's a million go rescue this person or go move this from point A to point B and back.
Yeah. I liked in Dragon Age that you had to manage your party members' approval of you by being careful who you take along and what decisions you make in front of them. That was a cool little addition to that game. I don't know if I didn't know if it continued in the sequels. I played Dragon Age 2 and it was kind of disappointing in comparison to the first one. And then I've never beaten Dragon Age Inquisition because it's just such a different game. But I kind of liked it. But I don't remember if they carried on that tradition of, like, you being morally judged by the person that's with you when they see you do the dirty deed, you know? Because that actually plays a big role in Dragon Age, depending on who you have with you and what choices you make. It can end in the deaths of some characters, or some characters just outright refusing to work with you anymore. Like, I remember I ran into that on my first playthrough of Dragon Age. I happen to do the right things to unlock one of the hidden, I think it was Reaver. I got the Reaver thing, and I did whatever horrible thing it was to appease the people that would teach me how to be a Reaver. And somebody that was with me was like, I cannot do this, and, like, left forever. And I was like, oh, well, fuck you then. I'm a Reaver, bitch. Get out of here. I don't care. Hopefully your gear's not gone. Oh, it is? Oh, well. Ouch. Yeah, that's what it was. I had to, like, desecrate the shrine of whatever the fuck. And I had that redheaded chick with me. That's exactly what it was in Dragon Age. There's some shrine of... I can't remember what the goddess's name is. But I had to, like, fucking desecrate it. And I had her with me, and she was like, I can't believe what you've done. I cannot stand for this. And she leaves. And I was like, oh, well, fuck. Yeah, Liliana. Yeah. I was like, pfft. She leaves, but I got the Reaver. So I was able to like be a reaver for the rest of the game, and that was cool. I love games that give you those kinds of choices that feel like you're making the choice, but really you've been led down the primrose path by the game. Because in order for those choices to be really impactful on the game world, the game has to have several different possible outcomes designed within it. But it really feels like those are emergent in a well-designed game like the first Dragon Age. Yeah, to be honest with you guys, there was a sale, I don't know, a few days ago, I think, and a game that I've avoided like the fucking plague went on sale. It was like one of those flash sales for like, I think it was $10. And it's the whole the deluxe edition or whatever of Mass Effect Andromeda, and I installed it, and I really haven't had time to play it yet, but because I've just been kind of hungry for one of those games where, you know, you have a party and choices kind of matter a little bit, and you have a character development thing, and combat is fun. So I've read some of the reviews of it, and it looks like, you know, a lot of the gripes about the game have mellowed over the years, and it's kind of settled into this like, hey, it's not exactly to be looked at as a direct successor to the early Mass Effect games. It's definitely a different game, but has a lot of cool elements if you're willing to play it, and it looks fun. So yeah, that's really what I'm looking for. I'm not looking to be wowed by your story really right now. I'm looking for a good game where I can just kind of like create a character and build a little team of people together and fucking have a party and whack things. So poop. Mass Effect is one of the best series for sure, but Andromeda got ruined by cancel culture, so they didn't finish it with much needed DLC. That kind of sucks, yeah. I don't know what about cancel culture ruined it. I thought it was ruined because it was just like an unplayable mess at launch. Like, that's what I remember. I don't remember there being but I'm not saying you're wrong. I just don't remember the cancel culture element. Ooh. Poop, poop in the house. Poop, poop in the White House. Yeah, I haven't played the new Red Dead yet either. I don't know. Did you ever hook up with a goyle in a public place? A goyle? A dame? No, not in a totally fucking public place, no. I've had risky type of sex where we were in a private place, but other people were there that could have easily walked out. I've done that a few times maybe, but I've never done the, hey, let's fucking dude, I'm a big fucking guy, and I don't drive big cars, so car sex for me you gotta understand, man. There's only so much you can do. You know, if I had a big ass Chevy Suburban or something, and I could make a fucking bed out of the back of it or some shit, that would be one thing. But I've never driven a car like that. I've always had like compact little cars. So a dude like me fucking in my own car has just not been. I did lie to my friends and tell them that I lost my virginity in a car, though. I think I've told you guys that story. I had a friend, you know, that it was becoming apparent he was going to lose his virginity, and that was not palatable to me. I had to do it first. I had to be the first one to drop my V card. And so I made up an absurd story about losing my virginity to a chick while I can't remember what song it was I said was playing, but I had the whole soundtrack and everything, and the dudes were like, whose car was it? And I was like, dude, I was in the Tempo. They were like, you fucked in the backseat of the Tempo? Like, they were sus immediately. I was like, yeah. How old was I when I made up that story? I was like, probably like 16 going on 17 or so. Yeah. more like 17. Definitely wasn't 16. So I was 17 going on 18. That makes way more sense. That fits the timeline way better. Makes me think about South Park episode where Cartman gets his first pubes by buying them. Yeah. That's pretty much it. How detailed was your cover story? I mean, I can't remember how detailed I got with it, but I told them like where it happened. Like they were like, "Where did you do it? Like you fucked in the car?" And I was like, "Yeah." You know, and I think some 9 Inch Nails or some shit was playing, according to me. You know, we were listening to some 9 Inch Nails. And they were like, "Well, where did you park? Like, were you right out in front of your house or what?" And I was like, "Nah, man. We were behind the Pack and Save." There's like overflow and employee parking behind the grocery store. It's like, "Yeah, dude, we parked behind the Pack and Save. And then we played some 9 Inch Nails. And then we fucked, you know?" Oh, boy. Did you think this up ahead of time or come up with it on the spot? A little of both, honestly. Like, I had to add detail as questions were asked, you know? So they would be like, "Oh, how did you fuck in the backseat?" "Oh, no, you know." The girl that I did say I lost the V card to was, like, real small. Like, she was, like, very, very petite, small girl. So, like, I was like, like, I'm a big guy, but, she's kind of a spinner, so it worked out, It worked out. She was able to get in there, straddle it up, whatever. Right there behind the Pack and Save with 9 Inch Nails bumping out of the trunk, Did she find out you said that? Dude, that whole story is just a mess, man. That whole story is a mess. I gotta tell this is deep lore. It's been many years now. Let's get into the deep lore of this shit. The chick in question was the first love of my friend Rodney. Okay? So, I told this story after she and Rodney had broken up, and I told it to a very select group. Rodney's not included, or people that would talk to Rodney. You guys remember, I told you guys I had two, like, distinct friend groups in high school, and there was very little crossover between them. So I told this to the friend group that were dorky that played video games, and I didn't tell shit about this to nobody, but here's the problem. There was a little bit of crossover. It was after they had broken up, and he didn't find out until after we graduated that I had told this sus-ass story about his ex, who he probably still had feelings for. So he moves away, and then all of a sudden this story breaks because I told people, like, "Hey, I fucked this chick." And then, of course, that started to spread around town and got back around to people who knew Rodney. And all of a sudden, I'm in trouble with a bunch of my friends. Half of my friends think I'm a stud who got fucked first, which was a lie. And half of my friends think I'm a douchebag who fucked one of his best friend's chicks that he was still in love with, an ex, and on and off again with. I was in a pickle. Rodney's the super talented dude, right? Yes. One of the super talented dudes. Rodney actually comes in here from time to time. He's wrenched. It's kind of a shame he's not in here. So on one hand, I'm juggling the props of not being a virgin, which at this point, I still was. And on the other hand, now the story has gotten out, and like half of my friends hate me because they think I fucked around with this chick. So here's what I had to do. And I'm telling you, man, you talk about eating crow. You know that old saying, yeah, sometimes you just got to eat some fucking crow. This is like 98. when all of this shit came to a head. I told the story in like 97, and then it all boiled around my friend group, and it was fine for a while, and I got to bask in the glow of being the first one to lose his V card, but it slowly spread, and it got around. So here's what I had to do, and this just sucks. I had to go to my friends, these other friends, and tell them, oh my God, I can't even believe I had to fucking do this. This is how I had to fix this. I'm just letting you know, this is the length that I went to fix this fucking lie. I went to my friends and I told them I never lost my virginity. It was a lie. I had to go to this chick who I was still friends with. This gets even messed up. Ask me the layer later. This gets even more messed up. I still am embarrassed. Oh, fuck yeah. I had to go to this chick and tell her that I had lied and told people that we'd slept together. And then I had to talk to my friends who thought that I'd fucked her and tell them what had happened, the whole chain of events. So I had to have 3 separate meetings. Okay, well, Vlad, you would think so, but put a pin in me telling her. Just put a pin in that. Put a pin in me telling her. You would think that would be the worst part, and at the time it was. But anyway, I make good with everybody. Everybody forgives me. It's a big chuckle. Have a big laugh about it. Rodney's not mad. The chick isn't mad. I keep all my friends. I ate my fucking humble pie. Then, so I'm single. I was single at, well, yeah, I was single at this point, obviously. I end up at a show at a city college, like a play, to see it in the audience, not to be in it. And I'm there with a group of friends, and this chick that I'd lied about having sex with, is also there. And whatever, we're friends. And so one thing led to another. Like, I don't have to give you guys all the fucking background. But one thing led to another. And I ended up fooling around with this chick. We didn't fuck. And it was because I had lied about it. I guess that turned her on. And so she wanted to, like, basically, like, at the end of the curve was like, well, like, after she had talked about it, and after we had kind of messed around a little bit and fooled around a little bit and shit, then she says, you know, like, it basically comes down to it. She's like, are you still a virgin? And I was like, yeah. And she goes, well, we could take care of that if you want. That's how it was put to me. And I was like, it didn't feel good. It didn't feel right. I was like, no, wait a minute. I just dug out of this. Shit, and now I'm about to jump dick first right back into it. And so I was like, no, maybe that's not the best idea. So I turned it down. It's on offer. And I said, no, thank you. And I'm glad that I did. That's the bisexual talking. Maybe it was. Was she bad? Yeah. Dude, there was this, I'm telling you, man. I had some run-ins at the end of high school that were just fucking crazy, bro. Oh my God, man. That the chick I was talking about, she was bad for sure. Not the baddest. Nah, maybe she wasn't bad. She was cute. Well, she's kind of bad. A little bit bad, mostly cute. Dude, there was this. Oh my God. I can't even. Can I even tell these types of stories? Is it like child porn for me to tell these types of stories? Like, never mind. Maybe I shouldn't. High school sexcapades maybe should be off the table. Oh man. I mean, dude, you can't like I can't get too explicit with it, but let's just say this, okay? There was a chick. She was actually older than me, so it was me that was underage in this instance, okay? So whatever. I don't got to get explicit with it. You guys can fill in the blanks, but I never looked at this chick sexually, right? She was older than me, petite, very short. She was a dancer and she was in drama. And I never looked at her in that way. We were good friends, but I never like saw her in that attractive way, right? And then one day I was at this party with her and we all got stoned, real super duper high. And so here's the thing. Here's the thing. She was a dancer, right? But when I saw her, she dressed like here's the thing. Tomboys back in the 90s dressed in baggy clothes just like dudes. So I didn't know what was doing. One thing led to another at this party, and she ended up in my lap, and I got my hands on that. And I was like, "Oh my God. It's like a fucking statue." And she was into it. The problem, once again, was that one of my other friends had been in love with this chick since freshman year. And I told you they were older than me. So this was in my like junior/senior year of high school. And she was already like 20. And I'm chilling with these folks. I think it was my senior year. I'm chilling with these folks. And I couldn't seal it. I couldn't do it because dude was sitting right there looking when she was in my lap. Once I got done like feeling everything, because I feel like I wasn't like groping, but she grabbed my hand and put it up under her shirt and shit. And that stomach, and I was like, cupped a little titty under there and shit. And I was like, fuck. And then the legs and. Dude, there was no bro code. I gotta be honest with you, dude. When I was a teenager. But then, like, as soon as I, like, looked up and noticed what was going on, because we were kind of, like, chilling, watching a movie, and she was kind of curled up in my lap. Like I said, she's another chick that was, like, as big as a fucking minute. She was 5'1" if she was, a foot. And she's curled up in my lap when all this shit is going on. And then I look, and homeboy is like, and I was like, so I just like stopped and started watching the movie. Oh my God, dude. Oh man. Hold on one second, guys. I gotta go check some texts real quick. Man. Fast times at Ridgemont High or whatever it is. There was some other fucking... Dude, there was one other time. But see, it happened to me, too. It happened to me, like the chick that I was all Twitter-pated about for most of high school. you know, one of my dude friends, like, it got back around to me that they had made out at some fucking party or some shit. And I had to be the dude that was like, oh shit, I got a rainbow. There's many colors in the homo rainbow. Don't be afraid to let your colors shine. That's got to be a good omen, right? The rainbow splotch. Yeah, maybe I should get this tattoo right here. Just get a rainbow over my splotch. No, it's this ashtray that I've got. I think TJ got me for my birthday one year. It's really cool. It's hard to for you guys to see, but it's like a prism. So it refracts. Whoa! I put it right back in the right spot. It refracts light all over the place. It's like a prism. So that's pretty neat. Do you like crystal glass? So an ex of mine had parents that were pretty well off, and they collected art glass, and I fucking loved just standing and looking at all their art glass, and it was a real in. So I like art glass, but I would never collect it because I move too much and I'm too fucking klutzy. I'm clumsy as all fucking get out and shit. So I put my hands behind my back and I observed the art glass, you know, and it's beautiful. Let me see. Quelle est la meilleure couleur de l'arc-en-ciel? Ciel? Man, I can only get part of that. What is the what is the palette of colors in the sky or something like that? I don't know, man. I don't know, bro. I took French for 2 years in high school. I can ask you for a glass of fucking strawberry milk. Je voudrais une lait fraise, s'il vous plaît. S'il vous plaît, monsieur. Je voudrais qu'est-ce que c'est? Une lait fraise. Ah oui, monsieur. Omelette du fromage. Yeah. What else can I do in French? I can do the days of the week. Lundi, mardi, mercredi, jeudi, vendredi, samedi, dimanche. I can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I can almost get to 20. I can get halfway to 20. But that's about all I picked up, yo. I was high. I'm sorry. That's all I needed to pick up to get by, you know. Oui, absolument. Je parle souvent avec mes amis francophones. Oui, oui. Can't do the little pop. That shows you I'm not French. Can't do it. Boop, boop. If I was French, I could do it. All French people can do that. They're born being able to do that. It's like all Irish people can do this. They can do the horse gallop. All Irish people that I've ever met can do this. This is just an Irish thing. Can't do the French thing, you know. I'm working on me French, yeah. That's a lot of French noises. Can you do the R roll Spanish people do? Yes, I can. Regulo son rigaldo del telemundo refresca. Yeah, I can do the r, 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 r. Brr. It also lets me do things like this, which is awesome. This is cultural appropriation. Never mind, I won't do it. I love it. Active Cults was excellent. My fiance made me restart the episode so she could watch too. I'm trying to stop smoking before bed. Do you have any pointers on quitting? Man, no, I don't. Grija. Canceled, I know. Whose roosters are those? One of my neighbors. There's a lot of space between houses here, but it's relatively flat, so sound travels. So you're hearing other neighbors' dogs there. You're hearing other neighbors' roosters when you hear them. I've gotten to the point where I almost don't even hear the roosters anymore. They become part of my background radiation. It's kind of the same with frogs. I'll fade in and out of my awareness of the frogs happening. My mate in school could not roll his R's. When he said brap, it came out brap. Brap, bap, bap, brap, bap, bap, bap. I have a straight thumb or a hitchhiker's thumb? Hitchhiker's thumb, I guess. That's it, not like flexed. It's just me hanging my thumb out. That's a hitchhiker's thumb, right? The old. It's a mild hitchhiker, yeah. I mean, I can straighten it out, but it like holding it where it's just like not flexed and it's just up, it's definitely got a little bend to it. Some people are like 90 degrees, yeah. I'm double jointed, well, not double jointed, but I have control, I guess, over some of the joints in my other fingers too, like these. I can do this like middle, especially on my middle fingers. I can get like the first knuckle down, which is not a maneuver some people can pull. All the weebs in my high school tried to learn Japanese, but didn't have the discipline to do so, and it just led to cringy half English. Poopy. Gotta go see you on DFF. Peace be with you. Vamonos. Go with God, young man, and let him guide you in every decision. Man, this is tough. Stop with the rack of discipline stuff, okay? All right, just let's not. I mean, it's funny. I'm not gonna lie and tell you it doesn't give me the giggles, but I want to hear TJ's version. Well, not TJ's version, the bearded lesbian version of "You Rack of Discipline," and see how it comes off. The Bearded Lesbians. Rock's greatest supergroup. Maybe we should have named our fucking podcast The Bearded Lesbians. I don't even think it came up. I've always loved that name. There's really no use for it. The Bearded Lesbians, dude. The Sober Elites. Or the other scrapped names. The only one that I remember us talking about was the Southern Fried podcast. That was the one that TJ's dream said that we were going to name the podcast. The Southern Fried podcast. And then that became Deep Fat Fried. How you doing, D? Bearded Lesbians, a close second, yeah. Les femmes au bar. What would that be? Oh yeah, the bearded women, the bearded ladies. Feel like YouTube would trip because the lesbians in the name. Yeah, you're probably right. Maybe it did come up and was shot down for that reason. It's too edgy, especially if it's not actual lesbians, you know what I mean? To call yourself lesbians. Especially on YouTube. I mean, paragon of child content that it is. Did they ever get that whole, like, Elsa fucking Spider-Man thing under control, or is that still going on? You guys remember that shit? Did they ever get that under control, or is that shit still just rampant out there? Was this whole, like, my content is not made for kids thing? You guys don't remember that shit? Where, like, it broke that, like, on YouTube, there was all these kids type of animations, but the characters in the animations would do like really inappropriate things. Yeah, they called it Elsa Gate, but it was a bunch of different characters. Like sometimes it would just be like real violent for no reason, and sometimes it would be real sexual, like obviously overtly sexual. Yeah, but it was all couched as like kids stuff. Like it would show up if people put their iPad in front of their toddler in kids mode or whatever, and they go to YouTube Kids, and there it would be. And then mom would come check on them, and they'd be sitting there watching Elsa getting railed by Spider-Man or some shit. You guys don't remember this shit? Well, yeah, it got hundreds and hundreds of millions of views because it fit this algorithm. Because the first part of it would be like, oh, happy, happy, joy, joy, Elsa. What do you want to do today? I'll sniff a flower. And then as soon as mom walks away, it's like, pull your pants down. It's like, what? Oh, dude, people made fucking a fortune off of that shit. See, this is what I'm talking about. YouTube has always been on the wrong side of censorship. That type of shit ran rampant on the platform while they were wringing their hands over like political speech and people like us that cover like topics that don't make people feel good in their tummies sometimes. You know what I mean? They're wringing their hands over like the content that actually draws adult eyes, but they're more than happy to allow, you know, just this obvious non-kid content to be rampant on the kids' side of their shit. It's just fucking bullshit. What do you say to someone who's genuinely bothered by the legally allowed amount of insect content in their food? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. What do you? I wouldn't tell you anything. I'm sorry to hear that. Like, who cares? I would straight up drink roach milk if somebody gave it to me right now. I've heard it's delicious. I don't give a fuck. I'm ready for the bugolution. I'm ready for the bugaloo. It's time to like replace our meat with fucking mealworms and cockroaches and crickets and shit. It's time to replace all the milk with roach milk. I mean, we could grow whole fucking just cavernous amounts of roaches and get tons and tons of delicious fucking roach milk to drink. And everybody would be better off because of the roach milk. Because the titty milk is all tainted with fucking hormones and bullshit. But the roach milk, bugs eat trash, exactly. Not plastics, but they could help us get rid of some of the trashy fucking shit. You're talking about roach milk like a year ago. Yeah, I'm ready. Would you drink a glass of flavored roach milk?
I don't know if the flavoring would help. I feel like the flavoring would make it worse.
I've heard. People have tried it. And vanilla roach milk is supposed to be like pretty indistinguishable from like vanilla almond milk or vanilla soy in terms of or like those protein milks or whatever it is. Like from what I've heard, tastes just like a fucking like frothy, creamy, milky beverage.
I guess. I mean, like wouldn't it have like just a crazy amount of protein in it? Not much calcium though? Like the inverse.
I mean, it's very protein rich, but they dilute it with water and other shit and make it milky. You know what I mean? I don't know if they add a bunch of calcium to it or whatever, but I do know that it's a good source of like the same types of things that milk gives us. Maybe not the calcium, but some of the vitamin content. Definitely a good source of protein. It's all crushed up. It's not like...
I feel like they would adulterate it too much.
You think so? I don't know.
That's a recipe.
You want the milk straight out of the roach's ass.
Well, I think it's like an invitation for like, let's put talcum powder in it or some shit.
Nah, dude. Get the FDA on it. Don't let them adulterate it with no poisons or nothing. You know, I don't know. There are people that make it. Like you can buy it. Roach milk. I'm pretty sure you can go on the internet and get some roach milk. And people say it's all right, and it's supposed to be pretty relatively natural. You flavor it, up a little bit because it probably doesn't taste all that appealing just out the gate. But now that is like unflavored soy or almond or walnut milk.
Yeah.
Like I've had all of those, and they taste like shit.
Yeah. I think I've told you that like I was misdiagnosed as lactose intolerant for like 5 years.
Yeah, so you were forced to drink like almond milk and shit.
The soy milk. So I think that's why I'm like very hesitant because I had a long time drinking soy milk when I didn't have to drink soy milk.
Yeah, see, dude, roach milk would be better for you. We'll switch to roach milk as soon as we can. I'd eat like an insect protein patty, like if it was flavored up to taste and wasn't just like crunchy insects in there. If they processed them up and extracted the protein and shit and added some flavorings in there and grilled it up, threw some fixins on top, I'd eat a big old roach cricket burger or whatever the fuck it is.
I wonder if you can like fatten roaches, like make them have more meat than they normally do.
I'm sure. Like, here's the thing. Like, one of the great things about roach milk would be it would be an endlessly non-destructive, renewable source of protein that wasn't like meat. Because roaches are so easy to fucking farm. You introduce them into a dark, damp environment that provides, ambiently enough food for them to grow. And then when they're nice and fat, you fucking harvest them up. You just get the big, fat, nasty daddies, you know what I mean? But they're not fattened on like human sewage, like hair clogs in people's toilets. They're living on a farm, so it's not like their guts are filled with dirty shit. They're eating like, the grain or whatever it is that's thrown down there, whatever feeds them. I don't know what they feed the fucking roach. They throw it in there. That all gets fucking taken out, processed up, squished down.
Now I need to know, what do roaches eat?
They eat everything, dude. Anything organic is what I understand a roach will fucking eat.
Plants and animals, starches, sweets, greasy foods, and meats are their favorites.
They're favorites, but they'll eat fucking anything organic. Anything carbon-based, they'll eat it. They'll eat bark. They'll eat grass. They'll eat your ass if you die out in the wilderness. But they like grains. There you go. We use the grain to grow the roach instead of the cow. Get way more fucking protein per square foot of land used.
And you don't have to use like fancy oats or nothing. Like there's plenty of like grains that just grow wildly and don't need to be cultivated.
Not only, well, yeah, but like tons of these oats go to the bottom of the pile. Like some of them are deselected because they're not the right kind. Some of them maybe got a little too ripe before they were harvested. What does a fucking roach care? You give it to the roach. Some wheat is broken a little early in the field while it's still green. Throw that in the fucking roach pile. Some corn, you open it up and some insect has gotten to it. Whoops, that one's going to the roaches. Just throw everything to them. All this food waste and shit where we just go, well, a worm got into this apple, so let's throw it away. Fuck that. Throw it in the roach den. Let them eat an apple. They'll eat it.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers will eat anything, and they'll get fat on it, too.
Boiled meat.
Yeah, meat that's gone off at the fucking store that literally, like, humans would get sick eating. Throw that shit in the roach pile. They love that shit.
I have a lot of fucking roaches.
Duty. If you've got like a pig farm that's got a lot of pig duty sitting around, fertilize that roach fucking pit with some extra pig duty. Let that get the rot going in there so that the apple breaks down and gets even tastier for them big fat fucks. And then when they get big, to where they're like overflowing the goddamn container, you just push the button that just like pushes them all into another container and ship them off. Grab another one, throw it in there with its friends, Telling you, man. Insects could solve a lot of fucking problems. I know this is like memes that I'm talking, but like I'm not, I'm actually telling you the truth. Farming mass amounts of insects would be like a really, really good thing for the planet because it's endlessly renewable. It doesn't take anywhere near the amount of carbon to invested that a herd of cows does.
I mean, locusts will probably eat
Yeah.
an unsustainable amount.
I mean, like it's just fucking. It makes no sense for us to not exploit this. When will this happen? I think within the next 20, 30 years, when the climate crisis starts to make it untenable for us to produce as much beef, and the price of beef goes up, that you're going to start seeing people experiment with different proteins. Right now, they're doing this Beyond Meat shit. That's just another. That's like non-soy based, but it's vegetable based, as I understand, right?
Yeah, I think there might still be soy in it. I think I tasted soy in those nuggets that we had.
Yeah, I don't know. If you're scared of eating what they ate, like that can all come out in the processing and shit. And if what they ate is all just natural fucking organic food, then what does it matter? But yeah, you could like take a group of roaches, hold them in isolation until none of them have fed for a couple of days, so they've all pooped out whatever it is they ate in their stomachs, and then you fucking crush them.
Yeah, but then you add the poop though.
Well, you put them in something where the poop falls through the fucking grate, and all that's left is the roaches, and then you push. You know what I mean?
Just washing them is probably enough.
Yeah, just spray them all down and fucking hose all the poop off of them, and then hose the poop down through the grate, and then you know what I mean. And here's the great thing about it too: you don't have to worry about the ethics of roach farming. Insects don't. A roach can live for fucking like 3 or 4 days without its head. It eventually dies because it can't eat. So we're not talking about a fucking animal that can feel pain. We're not talking about an animal that can feel suffering. They don't experience it on the same fucking level that we do. And the ethics of farming roaches are way, way cleaner in my mind than the ethics of farming a fucking cow. And there's a number of other bugs, too, that fit this bill. Mealworms and crickets, all huge sources of protein, easily farmed because they eat just natural, raw organics.
That's the one thing I don't understand when there's locust swarms. Why don't they just eat the locusts once they die?
They did.
Yeah.
Back in that fucking one that we covered in that natural disasters I've never heard of thing, there were people that tried, but see, here's the thing. An unprocessed locust, like you could probably survive on the protein of that, but good luck eating that fucking shit. It is naturally repellent to a human being to crunch through chitinous plating into fluidy bursting sacs of different kinds of bile and stomach juices and half-processed shit and all of the crap that comes out of a, like that's, you can't really market that to a person. But if you prepare the insect, process it a little bit, or prepare it and deep fry it, then it becomes palatable, you know? Because then everything about it is crunchy. Or everything about it is smooth and creamy.
Now, what do we do with all the cows after that, though?
Let them slowly but surely die off. They're tortured animals. The cows that are raised for fucking meat and protein and milk in this country are just tortured fucking animals. Let them live out their lives and stop reproducing them, and let the cow, as we have created it, croak. That's the answer. Because they're not tenable animals to keep around. They can't survive outside of human caretaking.
Just, sterilizing them all.
Sterilize whatever's left of them, keep them comfortable for the rest of their natural lives, let them out of their fucking milking pens and let them roam out in some grassy land and die of natural causes, and then no more are created. We have the power to make them, we have the power to fucking unmake them, and at this point we've just created a big old meat milk factory that just suffers its whole goddamn life so that we can kill it and suck all the milk out of its teats, or kill it and chop it all up into meat, or kill its baby and chop that up into meat. It's just a fucking nightmare. Same thing for fucking like pigs. Pigs are horribly abused. Chickens are horribly abused. I'm not saying we let them die. Chickens exist naturally as different kinds of game, just not with giant foster farm tits where they can barely walk. Let those die off. Let natural chickens return to the wild spaces and come up with some other way to fucking eat. We've got this easily farmable animal that doesn't question its existence, doesn't care about its children. All it does is eat and biologically reproduce. And what it eats is easily farmed organic material. It doesn't feel pain like we do. It doesn't experience existential fucking life at all. It's just a goddamn eating machine. It's just a fucking eating machine. We take those bugs, we throw them in a fucking place that for us would be horrible, but for them it's paradise. Yeah. They're in the dark all day. It's moist. It's damp. It's humid. There's rotting meat everywhere. It's fucking roach paradise. Right? They're not tortured like the cows are that are strapped for 17 hours a day in the milking machine. You know? They get to run around. They get to fucking munch the fucking meat. They get to munch the grains. All the shit that doesn't go to the market. All the shit that goes to market and doesn't get sold goes in the roach pen. Apples, oranges, anything. All this shit that is fallow in the fields when I go visit home goes in the roach pit. See? It just makes sense to me. It's a generational change. There are cultures that exist right now that eat insects that would make you go ew. And they've eaten them for generations and generations, millennia in some cases. You go out into the jungles of South America and you meet a tribe that's, there's very few tribes that are truly living the tribal lifestyle because human beings have been pinched. But there are still tribes that live off of the land out there, routinely eat different grubs and bugs as part of their daily diet. They supplement it with meat from other animals in a sustainable way. They're never been big enough to threaten the population of hogs or, sloths or whatever it is they're eating. Sloths. I think I'm turning British. Oh no. It's this ring!
Are you going to start saying jaguar now?
Jaguar! How do you say jaguar?
Jaguar.
Oh. What's happened to me? What is this? No! This is not my voice. Wouldn't that be horrifying if you woke up one day and you just had a whole different voice and accent?
I think that's a side effect that you can get from strokes.
Is it? I did not know that. Primates pick bugs out of each other's fur and snack on them? Sure. Look, dude, I'm not trying to say we immediately transition to eating nothing but bugs, but I'm just saying it's totally feasible that we would be able to handle the protein needs of the planet and probably the milk calcium needs of the planet way more sustainably with way less pain on way less land. You can grow roaches as many as you can pack them. You know what I mean? It's like, I envision these big, giant tents set up over these giant beds of food. You know what I mean? And they're just packed densely as they can be with roach life. And maybe you could raise 100 cattle on that land. Less water needed, exactly. Everything about it is great. Takes care of the fucking profoundly ridiculous food waste. Ooh, somebody's showing off their balls. I would too, though, if I spent all the money on a Dodge Charger, I guess. Yeah, if I spent a bunch of money on a Dodge Charger and the engine sounded like that, I might take it back. Oof.
Yeah, they weren't going all that fast down the street when they were making that noise.
No, we've heard that before too. I think that guy has struggled. I think maybe he's got like an aftermarket exhaust on that, and it might be choking the engine out or something, or he might have changed something about it, the tuning that is, because it sounds pretty funky, dude. It doesn't sound right. Like, I know what a nice fucking angry V6 or V8 is supposed to sound like, even with a big fucking glass pack muffler on it. Just loud, angry, aggressive, and it sounds like a dying cat or something. It's like a dying tiger.
Yeah.
You can hear what it used to be.
That noise at like 80 or something, that'd be more understandable.
I mean, well, yeah, those pops and shit. I mean, I understand. Like, some big engines will idle like that, but I don't know. That engine has never sounded right to me. So I'm just wondering if he's a tinkering type of person. Do you intend to stop eating meat in your personal life? This question isn't intended as an argument against what you're talking about. I'm just curious. I don't know. We've talked about it. We've tried a couple of different meatless options recently. And there are a couple of meals that we regularly will have that are meatless, like your chili and squash Alfredo, and so we'll eat these different meals that are totally meatless, and I haven't felt like a loss from that, but we still eat a lot of meat. We've just recently started kind of experimenting with some of the stuff that you can replace meat with on the market. These kind of Beyond Burgers and Beyond Patties and meat, kind of vegetarian type of options that we can scale down. Because the truth be told, a lot of this has more to do with me than Amelia. I'm not saying ethically. I don't know. She can speak for herself on that. But just for me, I'm grossed out by it. Like, chicken breasts are gross to me. Pretty much any meat that isn't ground up is gross. And then I realized that the ground up meat is actually the gross meat because it's all the extra meat from a bunch of different animals.
I mean, probably the one meat that you have the least issues with is like sliced meat.
Yeah, I mean, if it's one cut of meat and it's already cooked, but if it's raw, I'd have trouble handling anything. The only thing I really don't feel that way on is like bacon and like fillets and shit. I'm not immediately grossed out by those meats. But like chicken breasts, the sliminess of it, the veininess of it, the internal structure of it, I just can't.
Well, also too, like those chicken breasts are way too big.
I don't even feel right about eating it because I know that the animal that wore that breast wasn't able to walk.
Yeah, like I think there was one time I got a chicken breast that was like literally a pound all by itself.
It's absurd.
Yeah.
Like they pump these birds filled with hormones and shit in their feed that makes them overgrow that muscle group to the point where they can't even walk. And even if they could, it wouldn't matter because they live their entire life in a cage where they can't stand up or turn around. It's like, ugh, oh man. The amount of fucking just rank suffering that goes on in the meat industry is a big moral conundrum for me. Because I was raised in a society that doesn't just eat meat, it reveres it. And I have a very significant desire for it at times. But at the same time, I know that there's a good chance that there was a profound amount of suffering that went on that was not even necessary. Like there are even less cruel ways of doing things. You just can't do it like a factory. Like, so let's say we wanted to eat cows. We wanted to do it ethically.
We drove past some like hella free range cows.
Right. Free range cattle exist, and a free range cow is, relatively lives a good life. They walk around, they graze, and then one day you walk up to them with a bolt thing and they're dead. They don't even know they're dead. They didn't even see it coming. You take that corpse back, you carve it up, you got your meat. The problem is you can't do that like a factory.
You have to have way more land.
Right. You can build a factory farm on way less land, treat the animals like they're just biological units and give them no land to roam on, pump them full of hormones to artificially stimulate the muscle meat that you want to cut, and then let them live lives of profound, horrible suffering, and then line them all up and one by one kill them in front of the other ones. That's what happens to pigs, goats, Anything factory farmed, chickens. Like, you're telling me, like, so we can't feed our insatiable need for beef with free range. There's not enough range. So we have to do this factory farming thing, which means that if you want to eat meat, you have to participate in factory farming.
And I think, honestly, like, deer is probably something that needs to be exploited way more.
You're absolutely fucking right. But even if we did massive culling of deer, which happens already for sport.
But it's not like on the grocery shelves.
Right. It's done for sport hunting. So even if we took that fucking supply of venison, it would probably be, I don't know, maybe 10, 15% of the beef supply. Right? So something has to give. Something has to give. Either we have to move away from this horrible, torturous way of doing things, which, by the way, it's not just the cruelty. I highlight the cruelty because as an empath, that's what I care about most. But really, ultimately, the cruelty that's done is the immense damage that it does to the local environment. You need a ton of water for that tiny little place. You need a ton of feed. You need a ton of fucking waste management, and that waste just gets slumped into a pool of just their disease. They breed disease. You guys have had outbreaks in the UK of mad cow disease. I remember we had one here back in the 90s. Salmonella. These fucking things are just all inherent in the factory process because everything is stacked on top of itself.
I think that, like, you can't donate blood here if you're from the UK during the mad cow thing.
That may be true. I haven't heard that, but it sounds right.
When's the last time you donated blood?
I can't.
Yeah.
Swine fly. Flu, yeah. We cannot address climate change without first addressing factory. Well, no. Not first, but as a primary goal, yes. Factory farming has to go. Fossil fuel reliance has to go. Clean energy has to be researched to the point where it's far more efficient than it is. New sources of clean energy need to be explored. Like geothermal. We have tons of geothermal areas in the United States. Some of them are small, some of them are larger. Like Yellowstone is a giant geothermal area. And I'm not saying we should turn Yellowstone into a factory. But picking a patch of that land and putting a geothermal plant there might be a really fucking smart idea. You see what I'm saying? Like
Nuclear.
Well, I gotta be honest with you, dude. Nuclear to me has always been a touchy subject. On one hand, I agree. Easy energy creates relatively little waste when compared to other energies, isn't dependent on a finite resource, solves all those problems. Abundant energy too. It's once it gets going, it's very abundant, cheaply produced, blah, 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 blah. Stable. I lived in a state that is primarily powered by nuclear. Arizona, especially the area that I lived in, Phoenix itself, is run by, I think it's 2 or 3 giant nuke plants. And it was great. Never had a power problem. Power never went out unless, there was a power line down or something. There was never a power consumption issue, and none of that power the offput is steam and eventually radioactive waste that has to be dealt with.
That's the thing you're iffy about.
Well, no, that's not the only thing I'm iffy about. I'm also iffy about the human factor.
Yeah.
I think that if we had an AI that was as close to infallible as we could make it, that was designed to operate these things, I would feel much better about them. Because an AI would have known, you've built the Fukushima nuclear reactor in a tsunami zone.
Or Chernobyl's about to blow.
Right. Or Chernobyl's about to blow and we need to do this, this, and this to make sure it doesn't. Or 3 Mile Island is about to blow and we need to do this, this, and this because it doesn't. I don't trust humans. with such immense destructive power.
Well,
And
it takes a lot of schooling too to run.
it does, but that school, you've seen it. Schooling doesn't equal able to react in the right way in a crisis. You can't teach that. In some cases, there's not enough schooling for that. When the shit goes down, somebody fucks up and everything goes, and then all of a sudden you've got Chernobyl on your hands. I mean, that's the worst case scenario, but I just don't trust the human factor. It's like, look at how many of these cataclysmic fucking nuclear accidents that we have and how relatively obscure nuclear power is given the amount of power plants we could have. It could be powering everything. Nuke power could power the entirety of Texas and would have solved this power grid issue, by the way. Nuke power could power the entire grid. It doesn't. It's dotted around in various communities and various states. And look at how many of these tragic fucking accidents we've had. 3 Mile Island, fucking Chernobyl. I mean, yeah, this is over the course of decades and decades and decades, but fuck, look at the damage. Chernobyl created a no-go zone for another 2, 3, 5, 6, 7,000 years before human beings can live there without protective equipment. How many of those can we afford to do on a planet that's dying? You know what I mean? That's what gives me hesitation about nuclear power. And a lot of that is rooted, and I will admit this, in ignorance.
Probably the Cold War too.
Sure.
Still going on when you were in school.
My parents were products of the Cold War. So you have to understand, I grew up during the heat of the Cold War and saw its end. And nuclear hysteria was a real thing. And I'm willing to admit that my fear of it is based a lot in that. But I've never heard a good argument against the human factor. Now, there are fail-safes in modern nuclear reactors. I've heard the nuclear scientists, I've heard them say that Chernobyl could never happen today. It's impossible.
They were using the wrong parts.
Right.
Whatever.
They just didn't have the type of technology to automate certain processes if their human element failed to prevent a meltdown. And now we've got that. But that process is dependent on maintenance by humans. It is not self-maintaining. It has to be monitored and it has to be maintained and refreshed and updated and debugged and constantly watched by a human. So I could see a nuclear plant having two fails. Like Fukushima was a great example. A very modern plant with all of the modern shit melted down because of the human element, because they were stupid. They stupidly built low-lying backup power generators in a tsunami zone. That was just human error. And no computer helped with that. No computer was like, wait a minute, we live in a fucking... All of the internal systems did exactly what they were supposed to at Fukushima. But it was impossible to keep the internal systems powered because a tsunami had wiped out all of the electrical power and all of the power generators were diesel power generators that were supposed to be the backup for the backup for the backup. They were all dead. I've never really learned about thorium reactors, so I've just admitted to you guys that, you know, there's a lot of fucking paranoia and probably false fear in my nuclear stance. By the way, honey, can you let me know roundabout when it's...
Okay.
Or so?
Yeah, about 40 minutes.
Okay.
Is there a thing?
An hour after.
Okay.
So we're going to try and get a show done, I guess. Don't build a plant near disaster areas. I think that Chernobyl operators were at fault in any... I don't think the Chernobyl operators were at fault in any appreciable way. It was the wider systems of bureaucracy that obfuscated the design flaws. Yes, that doesn't change the fact that if the human element had not failed at Chernobyl and had action been taken earlier, to mitigate the meltdown rather than continuing to push the system, then it wouldn't have happened. So it was ultimately a bureaucracy is made up of humans. So even if it was a bureaucratic order, and that's the argument that you're making that led to the meltdown, that bureaucratic order originated in human error, which proves my point. If that indeed was a bureaucratic error, then it was an error made by humans or a group of humans. I have not heard a lot about the more modern reactors, and I've not heard a lot about the safeguards, and so I'm not trying to present myself as some kind of expert on nuclear power as it exists today. I'm just saying that I'm very skeptical of it as a widely used human answer to a relatively non-destructive way of generating immense amounts of power for everyone, because of the human factor at this point, because we're not at the point where it can be so completely automated and so completely free of any kind of possibility of error that it won't destroy an entire patch of land for 20 generations, you know? What's the name of the islands where we did a bunch of nuclear testing? Do you guys remember? Back in the, I think it was like late 50s or 60s or whatever it was, the early 60s, yeah, bikinis, right? Have you guys seen, well, there was 3 Mile, the Bikini Atoll, right? Have you guys seen how fucked over the people that lived there were? I mean, can you, and how fucked over that area is always and forever, like the sarcophaguses on the beach and shit. Have you guys seen that shit? How those people were just kind of hung out to dry in a place that killed them slowly, and but they're brown. Oh, well, never mind then. It's just like, that's why I'm skeptical of nuclear power, because whether or not it's weaponized, it's adjacent to the creation of nuclear weapons, the use of nuclear weapons, accidents that are horrible and tragic and cause suffering on an immense level, and ecological degradation on an immense level, literally poisoning the land against any kind of life living on it without mutation or death or cancer. But my skepticism is rooted in, like I said before, we need to use Gord power. Yeah, where's he at? Why don't we just make a Dyson sphere already and be done with it, man? We could power everything if we just made a fucking Dyson sphere. It's not hard. We just send some stuff up there. We build these giant discs and we make a real long cable from the sun to the earth, and then we plug it into that and zoop, zoop, zoop. You know what I mean? Then we just build more of that shit and more cables to go to everywhere, and then everybody's got a cable in their house that comes right from the sun. It just drops out of the sky into your house, you know, and you're like, zzz. The most difficult feat possible. Yeah, I know. A Dyson sphere, by the way, is not, it's not that easy. In fact, we're suffering for not extracting the energy from the black hole Sagittarius A. Yeah, dude, why don't we just go to the center of the fucking universe? We got this giant fucking energy fucking, like, we could just build a thing around Sagittarius, you know, like, not touch it, because I know if you touch it, you go into the black hole. But we could build like, follow me here. We fly some spaceships out there, right? Instead of going to Pluto, we take a fucking left and we go to Sagittarius A, right? We get there. We got a bunch of like stuff, and we build like a building around the black hole that absorbs the energy. Yeah, you can't touch the black hole though, because you get sucked in if you touch it. But around the black hole, right, and then it radiates the bzz, 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 and then like a long cord from there to the Earth. Imagine Star Trek, but we smoke weed on the spaceship. Dude, Star Trek would be a very different show. It would be a very different thing, if it was like Captain's log. Star date. I forgot what star date. These are the voyages of the F. What? Hold, can I start again? Beep. Captain's log. Whatever. We're out of here. We're doing a thing today. We were getting together because Data said he was going to make muffins. He said he could make some kick-ass muffins. So hopefully he remembers that, because he was pretty blunted last night. So I think the whole crew is going to get together and Data is going to make muffins. And then the chief, what's her name? I feel so bad about this because we've been working together for like 2 years. The chief's, what is she? I don't even know what her job is. She came to me and she was like, should we fly around? And it was funny because I was like, we are flying around, and then I looked out the window and we were still like at the dock where the ship was made. You know what I mean? So like, that's probably a problem that we should get to at some point. So we're probably going to I don't know, we're going to engage the engines soon. So wish us luck on that, I guess. Stardate, whatever it is, we're going to do that. And it's going to go somewhere. Because that we definitely didn't build this thing to not go anywhere, is what I'm saying. Anyway, I really hope those muffins are good today. I hope Data wasn't bullshitting. Data's always talking about how he can make muffins. And we're calling him out on it today. But we're gonna have the morning smoke sesh, and then we're gonna get to the muffins. And I mentioned another problem in this captain's log. We're gonna get to that too. Whatever the problem, I'll remember after I stop this to go back and listen to the captain's log. And I'll remember what that other problem it was that we identified, and then I'll get to that too. But we're gonna get the muffins. The muffin party is going down. Captain Parky out. Should I even send that? Number one. Number one. You okay? Yeah. Yeah, aye, aye, Captain. Number one. Can you come down to my office? Can you come to the captain's quarters, please? Like right now? Right now? Well, you don't have to you don't have to rush or whatever, but yeah, take it, whatever. Your first thing today should be come here before the muffin thing. Okay, good, because I was going to go to straight to the muffin thing, but you want me to go there? Yeah, come here, because I want you to watch this captain. I did a log. Oh, yeah, the logs, yeah, you're supposed to do those. Yeah, I did a log, and I want you to listen to it and tell me if I should, you know what I mean, if I should send it to the people, to whatever, to Starfleet. Oh, yeah, dude, totally, bro, totally, yeah, man. Just give me 45 minutes or so, man. I'll be right there. All right, bro, stay up. All right, stay up. Computer. Could you, fuck, man, I'm hella tired. Could you do a coffee thing? Could you make me a coffee? Yes. All right. We're good. We're good. Thank you. You're welcome, Commander. Oh, what was I gonna do? The muffin party. Fuck, I'm gonna be late. Shit, I'm gonna go to the muffin party. Okay. Do the muffin party, dude. What a wonderful, like, that would be an amazing life. It would be great. Stoned Trek, dude. Peep my last super chat. This is freaking gold. The prime directive is puff, puff, pass, man. Yeah, dude. Captain's log. Let's start 8. Hold on, let me check. 27021842. I think is that today? That's yesterday. 24 start. Okay. Captain's log. Start 824781821-0. We've encountered I don't even know what you call it, like a thing out here that it seems to think. Yesterday we did we engaged the engines, and we ended up in this. There's a thing here. It's, well, whatever. I'll explain it to you later. No, I'll have the science officer explain it to you later. That was the plan. That was what I was going to tell you. That the science officer is looking at the thing. She's trying to talk to it, I think. She offered it a bong rip. It didn't seem to be too interested right away, but like a bong rip is kind of tough if you've never smoked before. So we're trying to find a pipe. Wait a minute, we have a replicator. What the fuck am I thinking? I gotta just replicate a pipe. Anyway, I'll let you know when the fucking, the science officer. Park you out. We counted a thing, dog. We encountered a thing. Dog. Replicator rations are taking a beating. Hardy har. You slipped in a fat joke. It was a good one, though. Man, I really do kind of want to do this show now. I just do this whole thing. Make this my new thing. Stoned Trek. We could have like the opening be played on kazoo, you know? Like really badly, like the ship's like flying sideways, just like drifting, and everybody on is asleep. Oh man, I fucking love it. Oh shit. $1 billion concept, yeah. I know, man. I'm aware. Giving it away like it's gold. What will the speech be for the intro? Let me pack a bowl and think about it for a second. Paul, on a scale of 1 to date of the day before the muffin party, how high are you? Probably at a good, like, hard 7 right now. We're pushing towards an 8. It's good. I'm getting there. What would the intro be? Space is crazy. We all got together on this ship because we wanted to take a look at everything out here and make sure that everything's cool. And so far, it is. Excuse me, we're going to keep doing it too. Every day we do something. Anyway, yeah. Every car, yeah, the cough is part of the speech. Has to be. Paul, I'm a loyal DFF patron. I've asked TJ multiple times. Please do a DFF on the Great Depression. Please encourage him to do it. Love you guys. Okay. I'll try it. Yeah, we got to have like a real multicultural cast and stuff. A couple aliens that like get weeded in different ways, and then like a cyborg that is the biggest stoner of them all because he's got cyborg lungs. You know what I mean? Rastafari stoner Worf. Yeah, that'd be pretty dope. Just like a Klingon warrior, but just big fucking Rastafarian dreadlocks and shit. And he's always got like a blunt going, you know? It's like he sees you. Maybe he's like just like Worf. He's kind of like the strong, silent type. So when he sees you, he's just like offers it to you. And you're like, good, man. Good. He's like, Snoop Dogg can be him. Why voice him? Snoop Dogg can be him. This doesn't need to be a cartoon. I'm thinking about doing this for real. They need to add programming to the hologram doctor so he gets high. Oh, that would be cool if there was like a hologram doctor at some point and like he was like, you know, I only lament that I cannot take part in the greatest thing about this ship, getting high. The captain hears him saying that. The captain's all like, yo, man, that really is kind of fucked up. If you think about it, everybody else can get high, but fucking poor Dr. Alberto, sir. The poor fucking old Dr. Berto can't even get high. There's gotta be something that can be done. Give me, who does the computer shit? Nobody knows? None of you motherfuckers know this. Who does the computer shit? Who does the computer shit? Data. Get that motherfucker in here. There's got to be some way for him to design a way to make you high. It's all right, sir. I don't necessarily want to be high. No. Now, you listen to me. Now, what you said touched my heart. There's a whole episode right here that we're talking about. I mean, we don't even have to engage the warp thing because we can focus the whole episode around this shit. So you shut up. Yes, sir. Get Data down here. Where's this dumbass? Data. He never fucking answers. Ferengis selling their Snickle Fritz. Yeah. Don't replicate your weed. Come to me. Captain hears about it. And he's like, oh, hell no. And he shows up and he's like, that's what you got on it on an eighth of this Ferengi super weed. He's like, for you, Captain. For you. A mere 300 credits an eighth. Damn. 300 credits an eighth? Is it really that much better than, like, replicated shit? Oh, Captain. Captain. You have no idea. All right. Go ahead and slot the cred chip or whatever the fuck. Pass it over here. All right, stay up. You too, Captain. Go around the corner and I'm like, oh, damn, man. Look at this. It's mostly stems. Yeah, dude, the Enterprise looks like a big weed leaf. You know what I mean? With nacelles on it. It's just like a big old pod leaf in space. Oh, man. Will this still be funny when you come down? It might be. This is pretty funny. Stoned Trek. What do you think is the role of literature in our day of age, Dan? What's the role of literature in our day and age, dude? Look. Let me tell you something about literature, okay? Let me explain a little something about literature that you may or may not know, okay? In order to get it, you have to read it. And it's like, I feel like a lot of people are not reading literature anymore because they don't read it. It's a tragedy of monumental proportions, and somebody better start doing something today, like right now or tomorrow, first thing in the morning. After the muffin party, though. Dude. All right, we're fine. A little Visine would help at this point, but I don't know that I have any Visine. I might be out of Visine. What a time we've had. What a time we've had. What endless depths we plumbed together today on this, the darkest of days. Is there a market for women out there who just want to try a gay twank with no hetero experience? Oh, hell yeah. Dude, whatever. Don't even, you have to fucking ask that question, Jason. You know for a fact that there's plenty out there that would love to deconvert you. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Is conversion a problematic kink? What the fuck is that? I don't even know, dude. I don't even know what it is. When they see aliens, they will be like, whoa, Captain, we're seeing them for real. No, come on. No, that's lame. They're not going to be like, whoa. Because stoners know that you don't see things. You don't see an alien that isn't there just because you're on weed. No, that's bad. That's bad writing. You're fired. You're off the show. I'm sorry. That's just too dumb. You don't understand. Imagine Jason looks like a cross between Mr. Repsian and a cracked out Tom Holland. You're not far off. You're not far off. He's got a little bit of both of those people in him for sure. There's a little element of both in those. That's rude. Why is that rude? Those are both good-looking guys. It's a compliment. It's not rude. I said you look like Tom Holland and fucking what other one was it? Marijuana consumption may affect the short-term memory. Tom Holland and some other guy. Some other twink. Both good-looking. I said Jason looks cracked out. No, I say he looks like a combination between Repzion and a cracked out Tom Holland. That's half cracked out, and it's cracked out Tom Holland. So I didn't say he looked cracked out. You used to have a massive crush on Repzion, huh? Used to. Let me guess, Jason. That's all behind you now. Got him. Yeah, dude. Here it is again. And you hear that engine? That engine does not sound happy. That engine sounds mean. I'm ashamed to admit it, but I would rewatch Repsian getting spanked on the Wheel of Torture. You could. I think it's still up there, isn't it? It's missing, yeah. Something's misfiring on it. Or it's the timing is off or whatever the fuck it is. I don't know. It just sounds sick to me. I can't diagnose it, but I can tell it sounds pretty sick. I guess not. I mean, like I said a couple of streams ago, somebody asked me, and by the way, just quit the trolling, the fucking bullshit about Vosh, but I'll answer this Vosh question. I guess not. So I said a couple of streams ago that I'd go talk to Vosh again, but I guess somebody brought it up to him on one of his streams, and he said some shit like, Paul's ego has lost the plot. I was like, okay. Lost the plot. Ugh. Paul, have you played Divinity games? Not a troll, promise. Oh, I believe you. The Mortal Kombat trailer looks lame along with that Cruella film. Looks like Disney trying to do Joker. Yeah, the Cruella film did look lame. I think that the Mortal Kombat one might be cool. Just as like a kickback and watch like pew, 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 pew. He's not a fraud just because he doesn't want to talk to me or whatever. That's not, that doesn't make the dude a fraud. Nobody's obligated to talk to anybody, to be honest with you. I'm not exactly like chomping at the bit to talk to him either. I think we kind of, you know, we know where we're alike and we know where we differ. And, you know, every once in a while I poke at him on Twitter or whatever, but it's all good, you know. Sorry about the burping. No need to poop on Bosch. I respect his decision. Like, if he honestly thinks that nothing would be gained from us talking, he's probably right about that, by the way. He said that. And if he honestly thinks I've lost the plot or whatever, then whatever. He's got better shit to do, and so do I. Guess I've lost the plot, y'all. Can somebody put me back on the plot? I know who could do it. Maybe Vosh. Oh, wait. Lost the plot, smoke some pot. The plot thickens. Oh, yes. You're now back on the plot. Oh. I see. Feels like lazy leftist gatekeeping to me, but good on you for being a bigger... Oh, whatever. I mean, why would you get pissed about it? I get invited on shows all the time that I don't go on and shit. And I went on Vosh kind of reluctantly because everybody wanted me to do it. Like, TJ thought it would be a good idea. The fans were all... Vosh, Vosh, Vosh. So I was like, okay. And I rolled up in there and we had a conversation, and, you know, part of it was fun and part of it was interesting and part of it was annoying for both of us, I think. And I left it thinking like, yeah, that might be fertile ground for another conversation. And he seemed to think so at the time. But in the intervening time, I guess, in the election of Biden and my assessment of his early shit and some of the fucking maybe less than charitable takes I've had on Twitter, or at least less than charitable in the eyes of Vaj, he feels like I've lost the plot. So it's like, okay, well, that's cool. I don't know what the plot is. What's the plot? But like I said, let's not voosh it up. And let's not poop on Bosch either. Whatever. He feels that way. He said it. It's cool. No need to poop on the dude. He's, you know, right sometimes, I guess. He's right when he's right. He's wrong when he's wrong. He's a human being. Vosh the squash. I don't know what it is, guys, and I don't know that I have very long to rant about it. I've got, you know, a limited amount of time to finish up this stream. I think I got a little time, though. Just about, like, and I don't even really know what the rant is. I don't even, maybe it won't be a rant. Just talk to you guys real quickly about, like, the role of leftism at a time like this. Because I've been thinking a lot about it, to be honest with you. I've been having a lot of, you know, personal thought time about, you know, what's a leftist to do when the world is going to pieces. And some people have answers for that. You do whatever you can. You vote when you can. You participate locally when you can. And I get with that. I understand that. But when you see the problem as part of that participation, you see the problem as the existence of the kind of structural elements that make that participation necessary, and how they're lobbied by outside interests that aren't representatives of the people, they're representatives of corporate interests or national interests. And, you know, if you're that kind of leftist, which I am, I don't think that the Democratic Party can be pushed left. Huh.
I'm going to tell you when it's time.
How long do I have?
Not much.
Not much?
3 minutes. Until 6.
Oh, okay.
You told me to
Well, it's an hour after that. Okay, so yeah. So yeah, just if you remember to just well, I'm gonna end it here pretty soon anyway. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna end it here pretty soon. So yeah, I don't have much time. So I don't know. When that's the position that there's no longer really any point in participating in this shit, and I stand firm on it, and I don't. And then the president almost immediately walks back their immigration promise and gives ICE orders to start deportation again. Almost immediately walks back its promise for $2,000 checks, first reducing it to $1,400 and then throwing it up in the air like, maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. Immediately reduces its promise of a hike of the minimum wage to like some kind of like 15 by 2050 shit that probably won't even, it'll die on the floor. Biden said that, I guess, privately to a bunch of mayors and fucking state legislators and shit. He's like, yeah, the minimum wage thing probably not going to happen. So he even knows that it's dead on the vine. And I'm supposed to look at that and go like, yeah, but what would have gotten us closer to that? What? It's over. It can't be pushed left. It won't be pushed left. It will never react properly or in time to crisis. And it needs to be rebuilt. And, my ideas on that, I've talked to you guys about here for a long time. And so that's where I stand. I don't know that means that I've lost the plot or whatever, but that's it. As far as me telling you guys, like, well, here's the exact path from where we're at now to what I'm talking about, I honestly don't know. Like, I'm open to conversation on that shit. I'm not the type of person, I'm not brilliant, politically or otherwise. I don't have this fucking type of political mind that, can suss out all of the details between here and there. I just know that we're heading in one direction now, and we need to be heading in a completely different direction, a direction that's foundational to labor. Like, the left in this country needs to be represented by a party and by people in the party who directly interface with labor. Period. Because nobody would let this shit happen. There's no way. And when I say nobody would let this shit happen, I mean nobody's sitting in their home worrying if they're going to be able to make the fucking rent or whatever the fuck would let this shit happen if they had their way. And it's like, we need to start listening to the people who have to endure the different strata of, economic and social fucking layers in the United States. Like, we need to start doing things for them. And when I say them, I mean us. I mean average people, average folk, genuine, just people out there doing the thing. The new party has to come with this, because it has to be something that absolutely just sweeps and makes obsolete the party system as it exists now. It needs to absolutely challenge this monopoly, this false duopoly that is implied to the American people that is really just a monopoly. It's a corporate monopoly. I mean, there's a reason why corporations give pretty fucking openly to both candidates during a presidential race and both candidates during a senatorial race and shit, because it doesn't matter to them who wins. Because they know that you got a friend in me. Because you gave me some money. I'm up here in the house and I'm running my mouth. But behind it what I'm really about. You got a friend in me. Long as you got cash, you see. I love Randy Newman. Randy Newman is so awesome. Sorry if this question irritates you, but I'm curious. Hold on, I gotta put on my Kiwi accent.
Oi, I'm sorry if this question irritates you, but I'm curious to get an experienced internal person's take on this. Why do you think that lolcows become such a widespread phenomenon? Isn't it?
Or not in it.
It is. You're beached. You're beat.
I don't even know, dude. That was my fucking horrible stab at like whatever Kiwis are doing up there.
Oi, mate. It's me. You're beached.
The one upside to automation and taking over jobs in the future is it could potentially lead to the reformation of the social safety net in America. Australia helium. He's like my grandma. Awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and end this. Thank you guys for chilling. Sorry, Mendacious C. I hope you accept that as an answer. And also to Xenodroid, sorry we didn't get to talk automation. We'll see you